now that I'm speaking this, I'm trying to think like, why do we do that? I think part of it is imitating what we know and we see. And part of it is creating like a barrier between what we actually want to say.
Yeah, why do we do that?
I'm riffing this in the moment, so I need to develop this further, but I feel like it's an intimacy fear. There's
Probably.
a part of us that like wants to put a buffer in like a warm up. We're
Prep
almost like
for it.
we're creating courage to say what we actually want to say. But then if we have like 10, 15, 20 seconds of just buffer, then we say less of what we want to say. So it's like a little less scary. And then if we start a video in a way that's like, hi everyone, whatever, probably people would skip it and not watch it. Isn't that interesting?
It's so funny. Yeah. As you said that, it feels like it'd be super important and kind of cool to try out. Just like record mid-sentence.
Right.
Like start saying a sentence beforehand and then record and keep going.
Right.
Like it's more in the flow.
It's
there's no
in
like
the moment.
There's no, hey everyone.
Right.
This just happened.
The creation of a moment. It's just capturing a moment.
Yeah, that's the content I love the most.
Yeah.
And when you think about like the Theo Von clips or whatever it is, it's not like starting a scene. It's like in the middle of a scene already. It's just a good part of it.
And he's in a conversation.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll just do that going forward.
Exactly.
That feels like the most pure.
Yes.
And it feels like those moments come from them just documenting their conversation as opposed to creating that conversation for
creating
the
a
real.
moment. Yeah.
Damn, I think we just unlocked the content game.
Yeah, I feel like this is very interesting to go into because whether or not you create content, it doesn't really matter. I feel like everyone has different slices of this. Like, you know what we need to talk about in this moment? Do you remember when we were at the grocery store and we ran into that guy who you said like becomes a persona when he talks to you?
Oh man.
Can you go into that? Because I think that this would actually create a different slice of analysis from what I'm talking about, because there is an in real life version of like hitting record and going, hi everyone. Like there's an in real life version of that. And we experienced that the other day. And I think we really needed to go on this.
Yeah. There's a certain type of person I feel that you can just sense in their energy and just by watching their behavior, that needs to wind up before they talk to you. I've had someone like this in my life ever since I was young. And let's be honest, like we're cool people. We're like memorable people. We're like especially well known here in Austin. Right. And so, but our entire lives, we've always been like popular people. And there's certain people of all ages that you could feel in their presence. They kind of go from being like, and they now notice you're like, they gotta, oh, hey, Cam. Oh, hey. It's like you see this change that feels so performative. And you're like, what was that?
Like, why'd you just do that?
Why'd you just do that? You could just be like, oh, what's up, Cam? Good to see you. You don't got to be like, hey, but how are you? And then, as these conversations go, it's always like, it's carefully curated what they say. And in their head, either as I'm responding to them or right before they say something, you can kind of feel as if they're prepping in their minds what they want to say. Like they're strategizing, they're planning out the next sentence, the next conversation topic. And there's been a few times like they'd say something, then a few seconds later they go back and like, oh, I didn't mean like that. I meant like this. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. It was like, I didn't even ask, but you just start talking.
Right.
And so there's been a few times that happens. And it's so funny because, this happened in a grocery store, right? A few days ago. And this is someone who I've known. I wouldn't really call him a friend, but more of an acquaintance. And yeah, just honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of him. Like, I love everyone. Doesn't mean I like them all. You know what I mean?
This is important.
This is very important.
Say that one again.
You can unconditionally love everyone and also not like everyone.
Yeah.
You still have preferences for how you want to spend your time. Right. And so this is someone I would say I have unconditional love for him, generally wish him the best, but I don't prefer to be around him. And that's completely okay.
Right.
And that, may be for whatever reason, even if they're fully formed and they're, fully embodied and fully expressed, whatever it is, and didn't have this performative aspect, I still probably wouldn't want to be around them. It's just difference in what we have preferences for. We all have different preferences of ice cream flavors. We have different preferences of people. That's completely okay. This person is definitely still on the path, to say the least, and doing his best.
Right.
Right. But the interactions, when I feel them, they just feel so performative. They feel so curated. And if they mess up, they're going to be hard on themselves. If once they walk away from that interaction, they're kind of replaying it, like, oh, fucking, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, they have like that moment. You could feel the energy.
Right.
And then, this is just us at the grocery store. So I'm going through the aisles doing my thing. And he, sometimes has to go by me to get to where he needs to go. And it's always like kind of awkward, when you know someone, you already had this interaction, you kind of know like
he had already
done.
said hello.
Already said hello.
And
in
they
the
had
whole
a conversation. And in the conversation, here's another thing that he didn't go into that I want to mention. This is an archetype of person. And by the way, if you see yourself in what we're saying, like no judgment, unconditional love, like here are interpretations of this as like a nugget of wisdom and a nugget of reflection, if this resonates with you. So he said hello to this person, and then this guy like basically just starts going on about like all of this like very personal stuff happening in his life, like in the first breath of the conversation. And it was like deep stuff, like interpersonal, like work, things that he's going through on himself. Like we're in the grocery store, my guy, like nobody asked for that conversation. It could have just been, amen, good to see you. See you later, my guy. No one's asking.
I'll say what it was. It was like,
yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I'm sober now. And I'm like, great. And then he's like, he just kept going on that a little bit. And he's like, well, let me backtrack. I'm not sober with like alcohol or drugs. I still do that all the time. I'm actually going to do some MDMA for birthday. And it just goes on. I'm like, okay. And he just keeps saying, he's like, I'm going through a 12-step program for detachment from others to make sure I'm not like chronically attached to them. And I'm like, cool, man.
Right, right. But like, how did that fit? How did that fit in that moment?
Yeah, it was. So when they're performing, oftentimes they give more information than would have been needed for that moment. They didn't read the room. It's because they're trying to like share something, and that in their heads would make them feel more on your level or something you'd be interested in. It's like they're trying to bring up conversation topics to show you, hey, like I'm equal. These are the same people that will kind of like name drop other people they hang out with that you'll know, just to show you that like they're kind of in the circle, or they're whatever is going on in their mind that would separate them from the person they're talking to.
Right.
And so there's just a lot of that going on. And it was just such like a spiritual bro conversation that I was just like, I hate this shit. Just like, shut up. I don't care about this.
When you're like in that moment, it almost feels like you're an audience being like tested material on.
Yeah.
At least that's what it feels like to me. It's like did you scrape your life for the thing you thought that like would either appeal to me or interest me, or like, why are we having to curate our being?
Bro, let me just go grab the bananas and broccoli. I did not sign up for this. This is literally right at the very front of those like automatic doors that open in every single grocery store. Within 5 feet of that. I'm like, hello.
Right.
Good to see you, man.
Straight
all right.
into sobriety.
I'm like, bro. So whatever. That happened.
But this is important to know, because I do think with so much love and compassion, I have experienced many people who kind of come out in front with like an incredibly like heavy personal topic, thinking that it'll be like a point of bonding.
Like intimacy?
Yeah, it's like it's creating like a rushed intimacy that you don't need to do that. Like you don't, like I know that we share a lot on this show, and then you're probably like, well, you guys have like, I know a lot about what you guys are doing, and it's like, well, yeah, absolutely, because we're sitting here and there's a context. This is a show where people like know this is what we're going to be talking about. But if we were to be like walking around to everyone we see and being like, hey, Cam's learning how to play and become aligned with his inner child, and we actually had this moment the other day with our GM who came over, and like, are we just going to come out of the gate with that? No.
Now, this is this is a show people subscribe to, and if you don't like what we're saying, you can literally just be like,
right.
Close. I'm done. Close tab.
The part of the show is to be open about what we experience. And so, I mean, I feel like that's part of the bargain you get in here. But if we were walking around the earth going up to people being like, hello, nice to meet you. Let me tell you about my inner child journey.
Yeah.
I mean, just
do you know why you're single?
Yeah, exactly.
Listen to this episode of the podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. So there's so many people that you can just feel this energy that they're performing. And I bring this up with, again, full unconditional love to this person. And he's probably watching this right now, and you know exactly who you are with this amount of context. Perfect. You're meant to hear it if you're meant to hear it, whatever it is.